Hello everybody. So here we are with the fourth chapter in the sequel Improve English. So this chapter is all about modals and how modals are used in future possibilities, present and future possibilities. So let's check the chapter today. We could use will, would, could, may and might for possibilities. And yes, there is another one, that is can. So let's understand. First, let's start with can. Can, first of all, why do we use can? Can we use it for ability of a person? That means a person can eat a dozen bananas. So I could use can here. Or dogs can bite. This is a ability. This is can. Now, can is also used for general possibilities or general idea. So this is can. I'll give you more examples. What is general possibility? For example, if I say, let's say dogs can bite. That means dogs can bite and it's applicable to so many people. It's a general idea and it's not a specific thing. If I say dog could bite you, stay away. So I'm being very specific. I'm letting someone know, please stay away from dog, it could bite you. So I used a specific possibility. So these are kind of specific. This is kind of a general possibility here. I'll give you another example here of can. For example, people generally get late or people can get late due to jams. So it is applicable to so many people. So it's not specific. So I'll use a can here. So people tend to get confused between can and these modals. Especially can, could, may, might. So let's understand what is can. Can is all about general possibilities. It's not about specific possibilities. Here this means a specific possibilities. Now let me give you another example. For instance, many of the kids can be naughty. So it is applicable to so many kids. It's not specific. It's a general idea. So I would use can here, not could. I would not use kids could be naughty. I would use instead, it's a general idea, kids can be naughty. So can here plays a vital role. Now let me start with why we would use these modals instead of can. But what we generally do is, everywhere we use this can, we never use could, may, might. So I want that can has to be replaced with these modals and it would be very helpful. Let's start with few examples here. Let's start with will and shall. For example, let's start with a very simple word, come. I will come at 5 o'clock. I shall be there at 5 o'clock. Now, will and shall are almost kind of certain. That means you are kind of dead sure that you would reach there, you will reach there in half an hour. So I will be there, I shall be there in half an hour. But here I am not exactly explaining you a lot about will and shall because that would be covered in another chapter. So here instead of will, sometimes will, if I say, I'll just write it down here. Will could be say 95% sure. That you're dead sure this would happen. For example, I gave you just an example just now. For example, I will be there or I shall be there in half an hour. Okay. Now, if I say would here, instead of will, if I use would here, it would be say 90% sure. 90%, 80% sure, but you are not dead sure here. There's quite a bit of possibility here. There are bright chances here that this thing would happen. I would be there in half an hour. I would be there by 5 o'clock. So it's like kind of 90% sure. Now, here these modals are more or less the same. These modals would signify that there are chances. Could and may would be say 60% chances that this thing would happen. Might would be say slightly 40% chances that it might happen. For example, the same example will come back. I could reach there in half an hour. I could be there by 5 o'clock. I may be there by 5 o'clock. I might reach there. I might be there by 5 o'clock. So what I did was, because it is possible that I would reach there, I may reach there by 5 o'clock. It's a possibility. So I would could, may and might I would use instead of can. What we people do is generally we use can everywhere. So instead of can, I think so these words has to be used for the possibility. Let's take another example to make it a little more easy. For example, if I say a general statement that nowadays inflation is sky high. Inflation, that means हिंदी में बोलते हैं बहुत महंगाई बढ़ गई है. So things can be costly. See, I use can here because it's a general idea. Things can be costly. Now, if I say instead of can, I would try using these because that's a possibility. Oh, I believe it's a coronavirus time. It's a pandemic time. So things could be costly. Next time the customer comes, we would say, so if you come next time, things could be little costly. Because there's a possibility things could be costly, things may be costly, things might be costly. So instead of can in this example, I was supposed to use a possibility could, may, might. Or if it is very certain, then you could use will and would. So I haven't explained you will and shall more in this chapter because that would be covered in coming chapters. Here we are bothered about how to replace could, may, might. Okay, how to put could, may, might in place of can. How can be replaced with could, may, might? I'll give you another example here. For instance, say, for example, if I say dogs or say another animal, shark. Shark can bite. It's a kind of a general idea. Sharks can bite, so they are dangerous. We have to maintain a healthy distance. We have to stay away from these animals. So, but if I say to a particular person, for example, don't go close to the dog or don't go close to the shark, it could bite. Because there are possibilities. It may bite. It might bite. So you have to decide which one sounds better for you. I believe if you would use could here, may you here, might here instead of can, you would sound more educated. You would sound more knowledgeable. So can would be wrong here because you are being very specific. So let's do a flashback. Can is kind of a general idea. Whereas could, may, might, these words could replace can if you are talking about something very specific. So don't use can once you are talking about something specific. Okay, let's take another example. Say, let's make it with can first. Some people don't study, so they can fail. Some people study a lot, so they can pass. I'm talking about general idea. However, let me be a little more specific here. For example, a principal let his students know, if you don't study, you will fail. If you don't study, you would fail. You could fail. You may fail. You might fail. Which one sounds better to you? I would say, if you don't study, you could fail. If you don't study, you may fail. You might fail. Because I can't be certain whether a person would pass or fail. There's a tad little uncertainty. So for uncertainty, we use could, may, might. We would not use can here. Can is for general idea. Let's take another example. If I say tea juices can spill over. Tea juices can spill over, so we ought to be careful. We have to be careful. It's a general idea. However, if I'm very particular about it, then I am supposed to use could, may, might instead of can. For instance, let's say tea could spill on you, please be cautious. Or keep the tea properly on the table, it could spill. I'm letting someone know it could spill on your clothes or on the customer's clothes, please handle it with care. Please, tea may spill, so please be careful. Be cautious. Tea might spill. If you're sure that it would spill, then you could use will and would. Otherwise, these words are for possibility. This is also possibility, can. However, can is a general possibility. This is not about a future possibility or specific possibility. Okay, let's take another example. For instance, if people cheat others, they can get cheated as well. If people cheat others, they can get cheated as well. So I used can here. They can get cheated. It's a general idea. If I'm a little more specific here, I may use these words. Instead of can, I would try using could here. If you cheat others, you could get cheated. You may be cheated. You might get cheated. You might be cheated. So be cautious about it. Don't cheat others because you could get cheated as well. I will not use you can get cheated here as well because I am being very specific. Okay, let me give you another example. If I say, we know televisions, kids watch lots of television. So if I say using can, televisions can affect our eyes. It affects lots of people. So it's a general idea. Televisions can affect eyes. Televisions can take toll on eyes. Take toll means effect. It can affect our eyes. Okay. Now if I were to use these words instead of can, how would I use it? If you watch, if for example a doctor is teaching someone, teaching in the sense he's advising, he's giving his piece of suggestion that if you will watch lots of television, your eyes will bear the brunt. Your eyes will get affected. Televisions will affect your eyes if you watch lots of television. Television would affect your eyes because you're very sure, doctor may say television would affect your eyes. But there is a possibility, you can't guarantee it. So better, these are the more knowledgeable and you would sound better. For example, if you watch lots of television, it could take toll on your eyes. It could affect your eyes. It may affect your eyes. It might affect your eyes. Because doctor can't be sure. So there's a possibility that your eyes may get affected. So this is a kind of a key. And if you use could, may, might a lot, it is bound to make a difference in your English. It affects in a very positive manner. You sound very educated. Try using could, may, might at the right place. Let's do a flashback before I give you one more example. Can. The first word we learned was can. Can is an ability. For example, people can sing. I can dance. I can eat a dozen bananas. That's my ability. जिसे हम बोलते हैं हिंदी में ये मैं कर सकता हूँ. That's my ability. मेरी क्षमता है, मैं कर सकता हूँ. Then there's a general idea we talked about. Can be also used for general idea. That means dog can bite. Now we talked about these modals as well. These modals, these two are very certain. That means you are dead sure it would happen. Would is kind of 90% sure. You are not dead sure. However, you are certain. There's quite a possibility that this would happen. Could, may, might is kind of you're not certain. There are chances. There is a possibility that it may happen. Before I wrap up this class, I will give you another example. Let me say, so for instance, buses can be late because of jam. Train can be late because of congestion. Because of so much of congestion, trains can be late. It's a general idea. However, for example, you are standing at a station, railway station. Oh, you have been waiting for the train and you would say, oh, it seems, that means I feel, train could be late today. Oh, it seems you're watching the train. Oh, it hasn't arrived. Oh, it seems train could be late today. Train may be late today. Train might be late today. I would not say train can be late today because I'm being very specific. I'm using today Today means I'm being very specific, so I'm going to use here could, may, might instead of can. Can is for general possibility. I hope you have understood it. So what I urge you is try using could, may, might instead of can always. Can has its own importance. For example, general possibility, however, could, may, might, these words could overlap can. These words may overlap can. ये words इनको overlap कर लेंगे. So I hope you have loved this topic. This wasn't easy to explain, but this is kind of lifeline which would be very handy once you read newspapers, once you talk to people. So kindly understand. If you don't understand, there is a comment section. You could write it. I would try my level best to explain. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to share with your loved ones. Thank you.